ago, and I like the first two albums very much. This, Jude said while it was playing, it'll grow on you, and I think it needs to, because at
She
the
said
moment...
it more succinctly than that, but yeah.
She did, yeah. Shouldn't burble away through the first half of the sentence.
Yes.
I prefer Matt when he's really, really close mic'd as well, when he's really leaning in over the piano. So the big bombastic Coldplay, not so much. I think it needs to grow on me.
Well, we'll look forward to the album indeed. Harry, your final thoughts?
Well, I think it aspired to being epic, but it didn't quite get there, so I'll call it epic. Because it didn't quite...
Say that again, you completely lost me.
Well, it aspired to be epic, but it didn't quite get there. Say it got 3/4 to being epic.
Yeah.
That would be, because if you think epic, it's got 4 letters, so if you take off the last one, that'd be E-P-I, epi. See, that's what I did. I probably won't try that again.
Can we cut that bit out? We've got to cut that bit out. I mean, of all the sort of the crap we've spoken today, that really was one of the most torturous. Come on, I mean, that didn't make any sense, did it?
No, but it reminded me a bit of a band called Magnet, who I recommend to everyone.
You've won me back with that piece of useless information. Oh, so we're all getting a bit snipey and a bit bitchy, but that's the nature of these kind of round table type things, is that they're all about argument and oh, blimey, slut. Who was I calling a slut? We don't know. I was looking at Harry. Didn't necessarily mean I was talking to him.
Don't get on the webcam, it's not live.
It's not live, and you cannot get in touch if you found that offensive, so... Oh, make a note of that one. It really is. I tell you this, people, if you are at home, just get a tape machine and just start recording bad language into it. Because isn't it one of the most liberating things?
Brilliant.
People often disrespect swearing. They say swearing is kind of, it's for gutter snipes, it's for you know, sort of ill-educated people. I'm an educated man, I'm an erudite man, but I do love saying I just like saying the C word. I'm sorry, but it's because I'll tell you what it is. They're just perfectly designed, aren't they? They're vocal tools to perfectly express frustration, anger, and in this modern world, this contemporary world, Harry, Rufus, you'll agree with me here. Lolita, I don't know about your views yet, not got inside your brain fully, but in this modern world, there's so much that frustrates us. A decent bit of swearing can often, it stops you punching, doesn't it? Stops you punching or killing. that's whatever I say whenever my parents pick me up on some foul language. It stops me killing, mum. It stops me. Oh, that's just offensive. We should maybe bleep that. Let's Make Love and Listen to Death from Above by CSS. It's the Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Steve Merchant, and we have, I'm afraid, missed. Just watching that slowly tick away, feeling that this silence can be removed and thus make me sound coherent. No, I was just thinking we've missed or unable to discuss, because it was yesterday, although this is earlier in the week, so we don't know, Eurovision. We don't know what's happened. Yeah. We don't know if we're celebrating as a nation or weeping once more into our PG tits. But yeah, I've just make it clear now that I've got absolutely no interest in Eurovision. I find the whole thing a complete waste of time, and I don't care about Terry Wogan's ironic commentary, funny as it is, because the whole thing to me seems a complete shambles and a shame. Harry, what is your take on Eurovision?
I used to love it up until a couple of years ago, and now I can't watch it anymore. It's just unbearable, and our entries just seem to get worse and worse.
Who was it this year?
It's Scooch, isn't it?
Scooch. I've got no opinion of Scooch.
They all just look a little bit too old. They look a little bit creepy, and it's just not right.
Do you remember the band Five?
Yeah.
Now, Five, of course, still exist, only now there's only 4 of them, which is extraordinary.
Right.
But there was a member of Five who looked about 10 years older than the rest, and I always thought he looked like an older brother who'd say, well, I'll drive you to the gigs in the white van if I can be in the band. And you get that feeling sometimes, with these kind of people who sort of, it's their last chance, isn't it, Eurovision?
Yeah.
It's their last sort of stab. Rufus, are you the sort of person who dresses up ironically as a country of your choice and then goes along to an ironic party?
Not really. The ironic thing is that's what it's all about, isn't it? Because I can deal with so much kind of camp anachronistic irony, but not really that much. The only decent Eurovision party I've ever been to was when I went to someone's house and they laid out a map of Europe with miniatures from each of the countries. So there was from Port for Portugal, Ouzo for Greece, Gin for England, all of that. And you had to drink the miniature when they sang the song, which was great. It was good.
The only good thing about the whole thing is, if you do watch it, is how seriously the other nations take it. Some of those guys go absolutely nuts for it. There's like huge crowds out in town squares and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just berserk. Yeah, I've no idea what these
Lolita, as a foreigner, as a filthy foreigner, as you yourself described yourself earlier, what do you take? What do you make of Eurovision? Is it something that you were aware of in Canada?
Not at all. I mean, bizarrely, being Eurovision, it didn't the appeal didn't reach over the Atlantic. But I completely disagree. I love Eurovision, and I don't think you have to be camp, and I don't think you have to have a themed party. I think you just have to like insulting people. And
Well, I love that.
well,
So-
exactly. So I'm a little bit, perplexed as to why you're not down with the Eurovision. But no, I really like it, and I think there's a great sense of European togetherness when something like Lordi wins. I think it's the entire continent banding together in the joke, and I think it's lovely. Yeah,
Or is it just women and gay people?
No.
I don't know. You see, I think the problem I have, and we've discussed this in the past, Roof, is the kind of ironic appreciation of things. It's sort of, when you're a teenager or when you're at university, there's a lot of that goes on. Ironically dressing with T-shirts that sort of, I think they mentioned it on some TV show recently about the ironic appropriation. And Hitler. I saw a guy that kind of like a Hitler T-shirt,
Really?
but in that kind of deliberately punk rock kind of.
You won't get that in
figure out.
Eurovision.
Right? No, exactly. Imagine not. Yeah. Imagine they came on. Yeah, if one of the members of Scooch had come on, and maybe that's the big story this morning. Is that one of the people came on wearing a picture of Hitler, but it's Hitler like giving the thumbs up.
Yeah.
In a jaunty manner.
like the Fonz, yeah. Great. That's the problem I can't be doing with it. Is the ironic thing. It's when we first moved to London and we were sort of living in what was essentially a student house, and there's that thing where you want to sort of say, let's take down the ironic posters now of Rainbow and the Flumps, and let's put up pictures we actually like. Let's stand by our convictions.
Yeah. And Nick Hornby writes about it very well in High Fidelity when he says that, you sit on the swings when you're a child, and then there's a little bit of a gap when you don't go on the swings anymore, and then you go on them ironically when you're about 14, 15, and you kind of, you smoke cigarettes or, kind of try and get off with girls. And there's that gap between kind of 7 and 14 where it's not ironic yet, and and you're too old for it. And I think people don't really appreciate how the irony hasn't come back round again yet, on some things, particularly Eurovision.
So what, you're saying Nick Hornby?
I think so, I can't remember. Is this live?
It's not, thankfully, so we can cut that bit out. You can say what you want about Nick Hornby if you want. You can say if you want to say he's a you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Each week I like to play a cover version on the Steve Show, and this week is no exception. Rufus, will you give us the cover version jingle, please? Mr. Coverman! Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Lloyd Cole doing his version of Chelsea Hotel. Originally written, of course, about his brief dalliance with Janis Joplin. That's Leonard Cohen's Chelsea Hotel No. 2, as covered by Lloyd Cole. You can find it on a Leonard Cohen tribute album called I'm Your Fan, that also features versions of Cohen songs by Nick Cave and R.E.M. and a few others, so it's worth hunting out if you are a Cohen fan. Now, we have a She-J nominee with us, and each week we've been posing questions to them just to try and get a sense of who they are and how they tick and the like. And if you remember, a couple of weeks back, someone emailed us in the questions that they always use on Inside the Actors Studio, the James Lipton fronted question and answer show. And at the end of Inside the Actors Studio, he always uses the same series of questions which he poses to each of the Hollywood stars he interviews. And of course we've got those, and I will throw a few of these at you, and you just have to answer straight away the first thing that comes into your head. And bear in mind that because we're pre-recorded today, this is not a live show, then you can obviously swear when I ask you what is your favourite curse word?
I'm a big fan of Yeah, I have to say, and it's not, I don't hear a lot of people saying it on this side of the pond.
Well, it is actually, I think, considered by the BBC to be the most offensive thing you can say. Is it now?
Yes.
Okay. So it's number 1, number 2. Okay, let's stop there, because it really is getting tiresome now. That joke is so dull now that people are switching off in their droves. Okay, so let's clean our act up, and I'm going to ask you now, what is your favourite word?
Pickle.
Okay, good. She came straight in there. It's a lovely word, and she came straight in with it. Well, what is your least favourite word?
Least favourite word. You can edit this pause out as well.
Okay. We're going to leave this in.
Least favourite word is poo. No, that's a good word.
That's
no,
a
I like
word.
poo. Poo's good.
Yeah,
nervous.
Gna. We'll take
okay.
gna as your
Gna.
least favourite word. What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of let's see.
Silence?
Silence is all right.
Let's hope the listeners do.
I find farting to be really funny.
Oh my goodness, right, let's just clean this up, right? I just asked to clean it up, now we've got boo and farting. Please, this is not the kind of show I'm trying to do. You tell you're running yourself into the ground.
It's my flappy head and beady eyes.
I'm going to throw this at Rufus instead. What profession would you like to do other than your own?
I'd like to be a sign writer. That'd be nice.
A sign writer?
Yeah.
Really?
Up a ladder, you know, bottle of enamel, a tin of enamel paint in my hand.
Sure.
You know.
Any particular sign you'd be writing?
Antiques.
Okay, nice. Would you be doing it in a kind of medieval style?
Yeah, very swirly, lots of gilt.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Harry, what sound or noise do you hate?
I don't like the sound of buses reversing.
Oh, okay.
Or any large vehicle reversing, the beep. It's just too intrusive.
I'd like
I
to-
can see it's reversing. I'm sure some people can't, but, you know.
I'd like to get the gig as the voice that you hear sometimes on...
That's quite cool.
Warning! This vehicle is reversing!
It's so effective,
It is, isn't it?
It's a really
He's really
bizarre
putting it
voice.
on. He's
Yeah.
really putting it on.
I think a few years ago, these the guys who did all the voice recognition things or whatever realised that intonation was very important in English. So they changed it, you know, from this vehicle is reversing to this vehicle is reversing.
Yeah.
And when you're in the post office, cashier number 9, cashier number 7, please.
I
They
think that
really hit
if
the
there's
number.
one man here on this show who could get that gig, it's you, Rufus.
Yeah, well, you know.
Just give us your best, this vehicle is reversing, because I would love that gig, and I would probably try and make it a bit more hip. Yo, chill out, man. I don't want to freak you out, don't want to worry you, but there is a big old truck just coming back at you now. Could run over a toe, could crush you and kill you, so just move out of the way, everyone's going to be happier. But what would your take on it be?
I think a proper Queen's English version would be beware. If you laugh over it, we can't. It's not a clean. We can't have a clean. We can't have a clean. You know,
Let's do it.
beware. This vehicle is reversing. Something like that.
Beware is lovely.
Yeah, I thought I threw beware. I just thought of something. Just
Yeah.
like that.
I knew someone who was the voice of a luxury automobile's automatic voice control.
that would be amazing.
Oh.
And I kept asking her, "Can you be a bit sexier, please?" Yes. Your oil is low. You know, that kind of.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. That is because what I love about the I've got one of the sat navs, and I've chosen sexy lady to be. There is sexy lady option.
Is that what it's called?
I think it's sexy lady option.
My friend's got Eddie Izzard.
Yeah, you can get Eddie Izzard now, which I think would just be a bit too frustrating. You know, you can turn the corner if you want, or not. I take. Oh goodness me, trifle. Eh? What's trifle? What's it? And I think you can also get John Cleese, which just be angry and scary.
Yeah.
Like, turn the goddamn corner for God.
Yeah, you're gonna be late.
Yeah, but what I like about the sat nav on the woman is that she sort of because she only speaks infrequently, so it'll be continue straight ahead, and occasionally there may be a turn right in 100 yards. It's like you're with a girlfriend or wife, but you've had an argument, so she is directing you. She's still
Yeah,
directing.